All wings report in.
HouseDog, standing by.
Mother Goose, standing by.
Lowtech Tuck, standing by.
Lock S-foils in attack position. Animal Squadron ready for battle.
Welcome back, everybody, to the Animal Squadron. I have been waiting for this for like a year and a half, and it's finally here. Hi, everybody. It's Mother Goose.
And Lowtech Tuck. I'm equally as excited, but not as loud.
Hell yeah. How much of that actually came through on Discord?
Oh, I heard it all.
Oh,
no,
hell
you're,
yeah.
You're good. You're good. The
Hell
fans will enjoy it.
For sure. I balance everything, when I put it in, but I think I'm just going to leave that one. I'm not going to touch it. I'm just going to leave it loud.
Oh yeah, no, I love how excited you are. It's a great entrance.
I think I told you and Mac, like, when this show got announced, I was like, this is my Joker. How people were acting when the Joker came out is how I'm going to be acting.
Yeah, well, and also, I mean, I just figured you've always been such an Ahsoka fan.
Yeah.
I'm happy for you.
It is her time. It is her time to get her own series.
Oh, yeah.
And the fact that this is essentially, like, Rebels Season 5, like, Rebels is not my favorite animated series, but it's definitely my favorite animated cast, if that makes sense.
Okay, yeah.
So to, like, see them all, well, not all of them, but as many of them as we could in these first two episodes, I just was so happy. I'm freaking ecstatic.
Oh, yeah, dude. Live action Chopper, I'm just going to say it.
Live action
awesome.
Chopper was the best.
He hasn't changed a bit, and I love it.
Right. I think that's episode 2, but just as a short mention on Chopper's character, the fact that he was okay with killing potentially thousands of civilians.
You know that boy loves killing.
He loves killing, and he loves war crimes, and we love him for it.
That's right.
Well, I think just a couple general thoughts before we get into the, like, series as a whole. This first episode, I don't know how you felt. I really enjoyed it, but I did feel like, specifically, like, Ahsoka and Sabine just seemed a little stiff. And on one hand, I liked it because there was the tension between the two, but on the other hand, I felt like maybe it was just a little too much. How did you feel about that?
I mean, granted, I didn't have time to finish Rebels before this, but I sort of knew what happened there,
Yeah.
like, as far as, like, her becoming Ahsoka's apprentice and then not, and blah, blah, blah. But it kind of seemed like you said, like, it was a little too awkward.
Yeah.
In places. Like, it was kind of like, geez, like, what'd she do to you, man? Like,
right. And it wasn't just like when they were interacting with each other. It was like the whole first episode, they just felt a little stiff, which I felt like it was not this way in the second episode. I don't know, just something about this one. It felt a little off.
Yeah. Yeah, but also I do think it was intentional to set up later. But yeah, no, I do think it was a little awkward though, for sure.
Yeah. I felt like this was, I think they did as good of a job as they could have to introduce the plot of, like, the Rebels characters and Thrawn and everything that maybe people might have missed if they hadn't watched Rebels.
Yeah, exactly. I tried to speed run Rebels as fast as I could this weekend. I had just started season 3 basically. And so I was just consuming Rebels as much as I possibly could. I got to like season 3 episode like 16 or 17, I think. And then I couldn't watch anything. And then yesterday, luckily I was, and unluckily, I wasn't feeling that great. So I stayed home from work and, again, tried to binge as much as possible. And then I went on the Disney Plus Essential Ahsoka episodes thing, and I watched those, which took me, I think I watched like 4 episodes of season 4.
Okay, gotcha.
So, I
Nice.
saw some stuff.
Hell yeah.
But I guess like my point though is I think like for someone like me who didn't finish Rebels, I agree. I think it did a good job of getting you caught up quickly, even if you hadn't seen it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, are we ready to get into the crawl?
I think so.
Sorry, I'm looking through my notes, and my autocorrect changed Balin Scroll into Batman Scroll. Really freaked me out there for a second.
Yeah. Well, is it scroll or is it skull? Like Skoll? No.
I think it's scroll, but Skroll.
Oh, okay. Yeah.
So
I didn't remember exactly.
a neat factoid here. Scroll and Hati are actually wolves in Norse mythology.
Oh.
They're Fenrir's children.
Interesting.
Yeah, which Dave Filoni loves wolves. I mean,
Mm-hmm.
we see the Loth wolves. We have these here. Wolf from
Clone Wars.
Clone Wars, thank you. And there was one more. Oh, his live action character's last name is Wolf.
Yeah, right.
I don't know. I just think it's neat that there are these little things here or there that like he's like his own personal touch.
Which Balin, I remember his name being Balin Scroll, but what's the girl's name? I don't really feel like they were very clear on giving her a name.
Shin Hati.
Shin Hati. Okay.
Mm-hmm. Anyway, sorry, just a little factoid from my brain hole.
Mm-hmm.
I personally, I liked the darker crawl. The red was really nice. It just really bothered me that it wasn't centered. Like, it did so good of following like the rules, I guess, established by the other Star Wars crawls, like the evil galactic empire being in all caps, stuff like that. And I was totally okay with it being red. I actually liked that. But I just wanted it to be centered.
Yeah. Yeah, well, and also, if I remember right, does it crawl or is it more of like a pop-up?
It's less of a crawl and more like a scroll up.
Yeah. Yeah, that's kind of how I remembered it too. Which is fine. I mean,
Yeah.
I do love a real Star Wars crawl, but it's all good.
It just felt really weird because there's so many like cool moments, like when Shin is going after Sabine later in the episode. It's almost a shot-for-shot recreation of Maul in the desert in Phantom Menace.
Yeah, and also one thing that I noticed that I think is awesome is there are several shot-for-shot redos.
Yeah.
In this episode, and I am here for all of them.
Same.
Which, I mean, I'll just go ahead and say my favorite one was whenever Sabine's introduced and she's on the motorcycle. It reminded me so much of that episode in season 1 with Ezra whenever he steals the supplies. I think it's episode 1 actually. Whenever he meets the rebels, they Kanan hunts him down and stuff. While he's trying to run. And, I mean, it was basically a shot-for-shot redo. It was awesome.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. We love it. So, I don't know, it just felt kind of weird saying there were so many great moments, like, not even just shots, but, like, music cues and stuff. It seems like there were a lot of references to Rebels as well. It just felt so weird that there were so many cool references like that, and then the crawl was an uncentered scroll.
Yeah. Yeah, I don't know. I mean, I'm sure there's probably a stylistic reason for it.
Yeah.
But, yeah, I don't know. I'm sorry it wasn't centered, Elijah. Maybe one day you'll heal from that.
You know what I love is that is my biggest complaint. That is my biggest complaint, and it's such a tiny thing.
That's awesome.
So really, I mean, from there, I think it's all just... I do have one other complaint at the very end of the episode, but besides that, it's all just hype and excitement.
Just all roses.
Hell yeah. Okay, so we get this first scene where we get our introduction to Balin and Shin. Morgan's gets released. What did
Yep.
you think of this scene?
So this scene, I thought it was kind of a cool departure from the typical Star Wars trope of a ship flies in and something bad happens instantly.
Yeah.
I liked how there was some buildup and also some conversation on the one side, on the New Republic side of like, who are these people? Let's go find out. They say they're Jedi. I'm gonna call their bluff.
Uh-huh.
I thought that was just really good writing. Especially the I'm gonna call their bluff thing. I was just sitting there thinking, I was like, they're definitely gonna be Force users of some kind. Like this is not gonna be good, man. But
yeah.
But I don't know, just the way that, just how ironic that was really cool.
Oh yeah, you didn't watch any of the trailers, right?
No, I did see some stills, so I knew there was going to be Dark Jedi, but like I didn't know their names. I knew what they looked like, kinda. Like I knew it'd be an old man with a beard and a younger girl with white hair. But that was pretty much all I knew. Yeah.
Well, okay, because I'm not gonna lie, I'm a little obsessive gremlin, so I had to watch every single trailer.
A little obsessive gremlin.
But I am really jealous because like as soon as like I saw the spaceships and stuff, I was like, oh, okay, this is gonna be this scene from the trailer, and oh, that's gonna be this scene from the trailer. And I still really enjoyed it, but I do think it hurt my enjoyment just a little bit. But also, it's my own fault.
Yeah, it was really fun just because like I was sitting there and like Nicole was sitting there, but like she wasn't really watching. She's not as big of a Star Wars fan as I am. But anyways, she was like, "Who? Like, is that going to be Ahsoka?" And I was like, "I don't know, man. I think it's going to be the bad guys." Is all I said, because that's in my mind. That's all they were, was just the bad guys. And it was, and I don't know. It's just a really cool introduction.
Yeah, for sure.
And I'm glad I didn't watch the trailer. I'll continue to do it.
Hell yeah, this is the way, and I wish I could be there with you. I hate it about myself, but I also know that I'm not gonna stop.
Oh yeah, well, and also it's kind of fun for me that you do, because you can sort of help me stay informed.
Hell yeah, hell yeah. I also really like this scene. I was a little worried with the trailers. I was like, another hallway scene. Like, I love them, but at the same time, they're kind of getting a little oversaturated, you know? But I really liked it because I felt like it wasn't too intense, which helped me feel like it was more unique to itself. Yeah. So I really like that. I'm so sad they got Morgan. This is what, twice now? They had Morgan and they had Moff Gideon, that's his name. Yep. And they lost them both. We need to get them some better security.
Yeah, we really do. Oh, yep.
How did you feel about their orange lightsabers?
That's actually what I was gonna ask you about.
Okay, the thing you told me before we started recording.
Yeah.
Okay, yeah.
So the orange lightsabers. What my theory is that it's symbolic of them being dark Jedi, but their crystals haven't bled enough for them to have like completely turned to the dark side totally. Like I think basically their crystals are like muddied. Like there's still some good in there that we'll see later. And also we see it whenever well, that's in episode 2. Never mind. But we see it through some of their actions and their words that they aren't completely evil, I don't think.
And I think along with that is just another tiny detail that I love is Shin has a Padawan braid, which is a Jedi thing and not a Sith thing.
Yep. And then also the Padawan master relationship that they clearly have. It's more of like a work together kind of thing. Whereas like with a Sith, for instance, it's do this or I'll kill you. But with the Jedi, it's like, please do this. It's good for you. I'm teaching you something. Like it's more of a positive relationship that I think they have. Yeah.
So I think on the crystals you are completely right. Like they're almost there, but not quite. And I like that detail.
Yeah, and that's why I would call them Dark Jedi, but I would not call them Sith.
Right. Which I know a lot of people are like, oh, purple lightsabers are the ones that are, between the light and the dark. But honestly, I really like the orange sabers better.
Well, especially
being
with
that representation.
Yeah, because especially with what we have right now in the Filoni-verse, as far as the crystals and stuff, if red is complete evil and white is complete good, I like that it's orange because orange is kind of in the middle there. Like if you put some red in white, it's going to turn orangish.
Yes, and I think that's a much better option than pink.
Yeah, I agree with that.
Don't get me wrong, give me some pink lightsabers. I will rock that in Jedi Survivor or Jedi 3, whatever it is.
Oh, for sure.
But thematically, I think the orange looks way better.
Oh, yeah, and from a symbolic standpoint, I mean, like what we've been talking about here, I think it makes way more sense.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Shoot, I had one more point that I wanted to talk about with Shin. Oh, yes. So my personal theory is that Shin is actually Balin's daughter, and I think she's the right age that he probably either had her right before or right after Order 66. So I think he left the Jedi Order to raise his daughter before Order 66 happened.
Yeah, and also another thing to your point is that Hu Yang says that he recognizes Balin's lightsaber, but he doesn't recognize the other one. However, it's very clear that a Jedi built it.
Yes.
And I think that makes a lot of sense because obviously if she was born during Order 66, she never would have met Hu Yang. He never would have helped her build her lightsaber. Only her dad would have helped her build her lightsaber. On the other hand, I could see too maybe an adopted daughter kind of thing too. But either way, I mean, I think also she looks a lot like him, especially with the white hair. Like, I don't know. I'm smelling what you're stepping in for sure.
Hell yeah. I love that phrase. Well, are we ready to move on to the Night Sister Temple?
Yes. Oh, also, what did you think about the reveal that Morgan's a Night Sister?
I loved it. I was so excited. It makes so much more sense now because that's been one of my complaints on The Mandalorian, or it was Mandalorian where they fought, right? Or was it Book of Boba Fett?
No, Mandalorian. And also, that was something I was going to say earlier as far as them breaking her out of prison. Honestly, I had forgotten everything she said in Mandalorian whenever her and Ahsoka fight. And so I was like, dude, she wasn't really that important. Like, I mean, she just ruled one city. Like, what's the big deal about Morgan? But this makes it clear again. Like, she's actually really bad, and Ahsoka was hunting her on purpose.
Yes. I don't know, just their fight. Like, Ahsoka won, but I was like, has Ahsoka just gotten that rusty that some just regular old lady can, give her the business?
Yeah, just a shipbuilder with a spear, really?
Yeah. So it makes a lot more sense. And I think she didn't use her magic because she didn't want to reveal that she was a Night Sister.
Yeah. Yeah, cool, because like she says too, like, she's a survivor, she's not a Night Sister, is like the line. And I think, she just is very careful about who she tells that to and who she uses it in front of.
I agree. So I'm really excited that we're getting more lore on her. I'm excited that this, again, in Dave Filoni fashion, this character that really didn't seem that important is now super important.
Yep, exactly. Also, I will say, speaking of Dave Filoni fashion, I love how this episode and this series so far kind of has that Tomb Explorer kind of vibe.
Yeah.
That Dave Filoni does so often. I just thought that was a cool way to start it off.
Yeah. I love that they're touching on these ancient cultures so much, and it's gotta be important.
Dude, it's gotta all come to fruition at some point.
A mention in Jedi Fallen Order. Oh, cool. Yeah, that whatever. A mention in everything else since. Okay, yeah.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, and also how the star map like literally shows a pathway to another galaxy. What video game does that sound like that came out earlier this year?
Right? Well, I don't really have much on the Night Sister Temple. I thought it was cool. I loved Ahsoka's, like, when she throws her sabers on the ground and spins them to cut a hole. Very reminiscent of what she did in the Clone Wars.
Yeah. Yeah, and also I like how her live action, I mean, I'll just say it again that oh gosh.
Rosario Dawson.
Yeah, thank you. I was drawing a blank for some reason, even though we talked about her like last week. I just really like think that her, and then if she has a stunt double, I don't remember. But as far as just like how they fight, it's just prime Ahsoka. I think it looks really good.
Mm-hmm.
Yep.
I completely agree. The temple, we were just talking about it. The like little puzzle she has to do gave me Jedi Survivor Fallen Order vibes.
Mm-hmm. Yep. And then also like Bad Batch, Clone Wars, Rebels, they all have episodes where they have to do stuff like that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So I really like that. It was great getting to see HK assassin droids.
Yep.
And I think my real last note for this scene is, who gave them bombs that big? Why they need to have bombs that large?
Yeah. Yeah, and also like whenever they said like self-destruct and then Ahsoka just like kept running, I was like, dude, why are you still running? Like, I mean, I guess you're running to your ship, but like it can't be that bad. And then whenever it blew up, I was blown away. Pun intended.
Yeah. Because like IG-11 killed what, like 20 guys maybe? And that was like the extent of his explosion.
Yeah, right. And it was just like a single thermal detonator, whereas these guys have like big ol', I don't even know what to call them, just like depth charges or something, some sort of mine.
Did you have anything else here?
No, not really.
I love getting to see Huyang.
Yeah.
I loved getting to see Ahsoka's ship. The fact that it's like a Jedi ship. You know, they're bringing her back. They're bringing her back. I'm calling it. She's gonna be a Jedi by the end.
You think so?
I think so.
Yeah.
I think. I mean, she's already like training a Padawan. She has a Jedi ship. She's hanging out with Huyang. Like.
Yeah, I could see it.
Or she's gonna die.
I mean, probably not.
Probably not, but you know what? I'm not gonna hold on to that. I'm letting myself just be open to whatever happens.
Also, probably not first season. I don't know if they do it if they do
that
like
is
that.
True.
Because I mean, there's gonna be a movie and stuff.
Yeah,
I think they'll probably keep her around to the movie. I think that's probably safe to say.
For sure. But no, I don't really have much on their ship scene. I love that Huyang essentially was calling Ahsoka out and saying like, you know, if you had a Padawan, this wouldn't have gone so bad.
Yep. And also, I just really like Huyang anyway. Like he just does that droid thing where like he can't be sarcastic. He's incapable of being sarcastic at all. He just says exactly what he's gonna say. That's it.
Right. Yeah. Especially like, I won't get into it today, but man, in episode 2, does he just have some fire lines?
Yeah, he does. I think episode 2 will probably have more notes on Huyang.
Yeah.
Well, and actually, I guess real quick, should we just give a real quick explanation of who Huyang is in case someone didn't watch Clone Wars?
Oh yeah, sure.
So basically, he is Star Wars, and especially the Jedi's version of Ollivander from Harry Potter.
Yeah.
Like he teaches all the young Jedi how to make their own lightsabers, remembers all the lightsabers of all the Jedi he's trained in the past, like, I think he's lived for like 10,000 years or something crazy like that.
Yeah, I'm gonna look that up.
Yeah, and then I mean, no matter what, he's very clearly an early Republic droid.
Mm-hmm.
And the Jedi have loved him and kept him alive for generations. And
Yeah.
it's really cool that he didn't die in Order 66. I will say
Yes. I would have been devastated.
Yeah.
Also, this says 25,000 years old.
Yeah, no, it's
So-
like, it's something crazy. Yeah.
And
So actually, wait, he's pre-Republic.
yeah.
Like,
And
way pre-Republic.
he had a line that said, what did he say? Somebody said hi to him and they were talking and he's like, and I'm 75% of my original parts.
Yeah, that's right. I think, is it Hera who's talking to him?
Maybe.
Or is
Yeah.
it Sabine?
I can't remember, but I just was shocked. I was like, I would have thought at this point he'd been like completely remade, like a Ship of Theseus scenario here.
Yeah, no, not our boy Hu Yang.
He's
Heck
still
no.
he's still him.
Yeah,
We'll give it another 50,000 years. See how much of him is still there.
Dang Skippy.
Loved getting to see Hera live action.
Yeah, I thought she looked really good.
Did you
What?
Did you know that her actress is Ewan McGregor's wife?
Really?
Yeah,
Dude, that's awesome. I didn't know
right?
that.
I found that out this morning, and I was like, "Oh, that's so cool!"
Yeah, that's awesome. I will say, dude, they got her costume perfect.
Yeah,
Like, I mean, the way that, like, Hera's pants, like, kind of balloon out around her knees, you know, like, almost like parachute pants. Like, they
Yeah.
did that perfectly.
mm-hmm.
It was kind of mind-blowing to me. I was like, wow, like, that is the perfect costume.
Yeah. I also really, talking about her costume, I loved seeing the like Phoenix Squadron logo.
Mhm.
I think this is the first time we got to see it live action.
It's the first time we got to see Hera live action.
Yeah, yeah. I think
Yeah.
the only other live action is Rogue One. They say, General Syndulla, can you come to the meeting room or something?
Yeah, well, and then I guess in Star Wars Squadrons, they have a realistic-looking Hera, but that's
Oh,
a video
yeah.
game, so I don't really
Right.
think you can count that.
But hey, we love all versions of Hera.
That's right. We love Hera. Hera's dope.
I'm really worried about how they're going to handle her and Kanan's son.
Yeah.
Because he had the ugly green hair.
Yeah, I know nothing of that. Is in like the last episode of Rebels or something.
Yeah, there's
Oh.
like a time skip to after the war, and like their kid is like, I don't know, 4 or 5, and he just got the ugliest green hair, like vomit green.
they'll probably touch him up a little bit for live action, I would hope.
I hope so.
But wait,
Um
I thought all right, this is a tangent, but how could her and Kanan have a son?
well, when a man and a woman
Well,
really
yeah,
love
no,
each
I
other.
understand that. I understand that. But also, like, well, actually, never mind. I guess it's only like a few days when you think about it. Kanan's death to the end of Rebels.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, I
Um,
guess she could have easily been pregnant.
Yeah.
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 Yeah, never mind.
He didn't. He didn't. Actually, no. I feel like he knew. I think he knew that in that last moment he wasn't just saving the love of his life, but also his child.
Don't make me sad like that, dude. You don't
Would
need to
it be
be
wor-
you don't need to be out here saying stuff like that, Elijah.
Would it be worse if he didn't know?
I think it'd be better if he didn't know for me.
Yeah, that makes sense. I feel that.
As an audience viewer, I kind of hope he didn't know because it'd make me way sadder.
Yeah. I don't know. I just you saw that scene, right, where he dies?
Yeah.
Okay, just the fact that the Force gives him his sight so he can see her one last time.
Yeah. Yeah, that's not an easy thing to watch.
No, but also I love it.
Yeah, I love it. We all need to cry sometimes.
I hope we can love our partners half as much as Kanan loved her, you know?
Yeah, I agree with that. I like to think I do.
Oh, same. 100%. Okay, so we essentially get a scene of Hera and Ahsoka talking. Love getting to see them together. And they, are talking about going to Sabine, that she'd be the one to open the map. Do you have anything here before we get Sabine's reveal?
No, other than I knew Sabine was going to be in the show at some point, but I wasn't real sure who they were going to have be the person in the next scene until Hera said something like, or no, Ahsoka pretty much casted some doubt saying like, are you sure they're going to want to? Mm-hmm. And then Hera's like, pretty much, I assure you she would.
Yeah.
And I was like, okay, yeah, all right, it's Sabine, got it.
Yeah.
But right before that, I wasn't sure what they were going to do.
I think the only other character that I was thinking maybe, before, of course, the she, was maybe Zeb.
Yeah.
We haven't seen him in any of the trailers. I'm getting a little worried.
Well, they got to at least tell us what happened to him.
Yeah.
He can't just disappear.
Yeah. I don't know. I really like the main cast of like Ahsoka, Sabine, and Hera. I think it was probably a smarter choice trying to focus on a little bit smaller of a cast, at least for this first season. Mm-hmm. But man, am I going to be heartbroken. I'm going to be so heartbroken if we don't at least see Zeb a little.
Yeah, I am too. Also, I will say, how did it feel to be right? That they're trying to go find Ezra.
So good.
It felt good to be right.
Yeah. I mean, I don't know if it was a crazy theory. Like, I feel like, just based on what we knew, it was a pretty, like, it makes sense, Mm-hmm. But I was a little worried that they might have been more focused on just stopping Thrawn and not finding Ezra.
Yeah.
But, to hear him, like, hear them talk about him, hear his actual voice, like, we get to see his live action actor, at least, in the hologram. It feels real good.
Yeah. Yeah, and also, I mean, like, I don't know, if they're going to go find Thrawn, I mean, they kind of have to be looking for Ezra also.
Yeah, it's
like they're almost definitely together.
Yeah.
Or in the same, like, existential plane.
I really hope they're just like chilling on the back of a Purgle, like playing space chess or
they're
whatever.
They're friends now.
Right, like a almost like a Life of Pi situation, where like they're stranded, they need to kill each other, but like they somehow make it work. Like, if we're gonna survive together.
I like it. It.
How did you feel about Sabine leaving? I personally, like, ditching the speech. I personally felt like it was kind of out of character a little bit. I felt like that's something Rebels Ahsoka would have done. Like, she would have wanted to be there to honor Ezra.
You mean Rebels Sabine?
Yes. Who did I say? I don't.
You
even
said
remember.
Rebels Ahsoka.
Yeah.
And I was like,
sorry.
I mean, it's almost certainly what Rebels Ahsoka would have done, but we aren't talking about her.
Sorry. I feel like Rebels Sabine would have been there, but that's
especially
just my
later
own
in the show, like whenever she like grows up a lot. Yeah, I mean, I think so, and also just being a Mandalorian, and then also like being a Jedi asterisk. Like both of those are such honor cultures.
Yeah.
Like I would think just like morally she'd feel like she had to.
Mm-hmm.
But then also, I mean, on the surface, she's a rebel. But I agree. I mean, I think it was kind of like a surface level decision for her. Like
right.
that wouldn't be like deep and thought out like you would think.
Right. And I don't know. I just like, I've always seen Sabine. Yes, she's very artistic, but I've also seen her as very like analytical as well. Mm-hmm. So I don't know. The only way it works in my head is that it was just too painful for her.
Yeah, and then I could also see the rebel thing in that perspective of like it was too painful, so she's just like, well, not gonna go. I don't care what you think of me. I'm just not gonna go. Yeah.
Peace.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. The scene was great. I love the music. Her sliding under the E-wing. The fact that we get E-wings in canon now.
Yeah,
you
that
know,
was sick.
like I really did like the scene.
And then also too, like, again, how it's like a 1-for-1 shot of like the first episode of Rebels.
Mm-hmm.
I just think that was so cool.
And I think the guy, I'm pretty sure, I don't remember his name, but I think it's the one in the E-wing that was like flying alongside her and like,
Mhm.
flew off at the end. I think he was the same kid as one of the kids, or he was one of the kids that was in the Imperial Academy with Ezra.
Oh, okay. Is it, what is that kid's name? He's like the informant.
I think so.
That like he and Ezra are like buddies. Oh, what is that? What is that kid's name?
The writer, sorry. The fact that they got his live action, like his voice actor to come, that was really cool.
Oh, it is the kid?
Or well, sorry, Ryder Azadi. He's the governor that was like introduced Sabine.
Oh, yeah.
He was in Rebels. He played an important role, but like still a side character.
Okay.
So just another character that they brought their voice actor to be the live action actor, which I loved.
Yeah.
I'm trying to find this. It's listing Anakin Skywalker
Here,
before the actual guy.
Jai Kell? Is that his name?
Yeah, it is. Okay.
Oh, yeah, okay. It's definitely Jai Kell. Huh.
Hell
That's
yeah.
really cool.
Anyway, just a lot of cool little references like that, and I love it. The Lowtech looks adorable.
Yeah. I really was very pleased with how they look in live action.
I want one. The little duck feet are adorable.
Also, like, I thought that they'd be like kind of creepy in live action, but really, I mean, just the CGI looks pretty good on them.
Yeah, I think they look creepier animated.
Yeah, honestly, same.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And I don't think it's 100% a puppet or CGI, or I think it's a mix of CGI and a puppet, which I really enjoy. Like some of the movements just seemed very, very puppety, and I like that.
Yeah. That's some classic Star Wars for you.
Sabine gets sister zoned. This one threw me for a loop.
Sister zoned. What do you mean?
In Ezra's speech that she's watching, the little hologram.
Oh, yeah.
He's like, we grew up together. You were like a sister to me. And I was like, no, I shipped them so much. Why?
Also, like, we all know Ezra likes her and liked her the whole time.
Right?
Yeah.
And like he even starts it by saying like, aside from anyone else, I wanted to reach out to you the most.
Yeah, no, I think that they will still have a will they, won't they thing.
I think so. I just, the sister thing, I was like, no, my man.
I think Ezra was just trying to play it safe.
Yeah. Especially, I mean, if he really did think he was going to die, maybe he didn't want his first I love you, to be over a hologram after he died.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, understandable.
Maybe it's easier just to keep it in. Make her think he only thought of her as a sister.
Yeah.
Do you have anything else here? With the, before Ahsoka shows up?
No, don't think so.
We get their reunion. I really liked how they handled it, where it was essentially just like, hey, I'm here. Here's where I'm here, or here's why I'm here. I have a way to find Ezra. It cut, so we don't have to have her sitting there like, oh yeah, I was at a Night Sister temple and I found this map, and now they're bad. Like, it just cut all that. Really good storytelling, and then it cut into the ship. Like, when it first cut into the ship, my first thought was, did they really just skip all of the drama between them not seeing each other for so long? Mm-hmm. And then that's immediately what we got. And I was like, oh, okay, that makes perfect sense.
Yeah, well, I mean, audiences don't want to hear the same thing twice.
Mm-hmm.
So, yeah.
So I really, really like the tension here.
Yeah.
I thought it was handled well.
Yeah, I thought so too. And also, I mean, like you said, I think they do a really good job of, whether you watch Rebels or not, I think it's very clear why there's tension.
Mm-hmm.
And some stuff like that. Like, you don't really have to have watched Rebels to understand that scene.
Right.
that there is tension, and then also why.
Right, so we actually we didn't know that Ahsoka and Sabine were master and apprentice.
Oh, okay. So that was never in Rebels.
Never in Rebels. So this was new for like everybody.
Oh, okay. Yeah,
Um
scratch that. I was gonna say I never finished it, so I just assumed I was like, oh yeah, I was probably in Rebels. I don't know.
yeah, no, I just again, I thought they handled it really well, and I think it's a mystery for new and old fans. You know, it's something we both can, or not new and old, like for people who have seen Rebels and people who haven't. It's like it's something that can keep us both interested.
Yeah, yeah, and also I'm sure too. Now that you said that, like, I mean, I can virtually guarantee you we're gonna learn why. Then.
Oh yeah, for sure.
Like why Ahsoka and her split off the first time.
We're definitely getting some flashbacks,
Mm-hmm.
and I think I could be wrong, but I think we're also going to get some Clone Wars flashbacks too.
Dude, I hope so. I think that'd be awesome. I mean, actually,
right?
Wasn't it confirmed that Hayden Christensen is in it?
Well, so
Somehow?
I didn't want to spoil anything, but one of the trailers has Hayden Christensen's voice,
Mm-hmm.
and he's talking to Ahsoka as if they were like, you know, master and apprentice during the Clone Wars.
Oh man, that's exciting. That's really
Yeah.
exciting. I have no idea what's gonna happen, but I love it already.
Yeah, I know. I am. I cannot wait.
Yeah.
Another detail that I really loved was so she puts her cup down before she talks to Hugh Yang, and she, you know, goes and talks, and then they come back and Sabine's gone, and you know the table raises and lowers, and there was her cup on the floor.
Oh yeah.
Just a tiny detail that
whenever
I
she
really
takes
enjoyed.
the star map,
Yeah, mm-hmm.
like after being explicitly told not to take the star map.
Because of how dangerous it was.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, and how they like can't lose it, because if they lose
Mhm.
it, then bad things are gonna happen.
Yep. And I hope this is an Ahsoka scenario where like she really messes up, you know, and that kind of teaches her humility and leads to some really good character growth.
What do you mean as far as this being an Ahsoka moment?
Well, you know, because we talked about in our last episode that like Ahsoka fans didn't really like because she was very arrogant, and in one of her first episodes, she gets thousands of people killed because of that arrogance.
Right. Yeah.
You know, and if this leads, I think we're going to see a similar scenario where like, if not that it would directly be Sabine's fault, but I feel like she's going to hold a lot of guilt if this does lead to an actual war.
Mm-hmm. Oh, I got you. Like her losing the star map. Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
I see what you mean. Yeah, I don't know, man. I'm very curious to see what happens. I also have a theory for how this show's going to turn out.
Oh, do you want to tell us now, or are you going to save it?
No, I'll say it. So my thought for this first season is that the first 4 episodes are going to be the race for the star map.
Mm-hmm.
And then the last 4 episodes are going to be what happens when they get the star map.
Yeah.
That's kind of what I think.
Nice. Yeah, I could definitely see that. I definitely think there's going to be a little back and forth. I think I agree that, like, you know, at the end of this episode, they get the map back, or so many names. Shin gets the map, and you know, by episode 3, you know, it might be back in Ahsoka's hands.
Yeah, I mean, I was kind of foreseeing maybe they get to the location at very similar times, like either by following each other or whatever.
Oh yeah,
and so then there'll be like a fight over the star map after they get there, and then also like everyone's trying to find Ezra and Thrawn at the same time, and that's kind of what I foresee.
Yeah, I have a big feeling that either the end of this season or the end of this series setting up the movie is going to end with a major loss for the Rebels crew.
Yeah,
like,
I could see that.
Thrawn is back, and the Imperial Remnant has risen up, and I also think it's going to include some pretty major, at least one major character death.
Yeah. Do you think they'd go the easy route and just kill Ezra?
I kind of think so. I kind of think so. Like I think that one would hit the hardest if they spend the whole series trying to get him back.
And then they
just to
realize
have him
he's been dead the whole time. Yeah.
dead the whole time, or Thrawn kills him in front of them.
Ooh.
Also, I'm
Oh,
sorry,
man.
saying we're talking about Ezra. He looked like a dork in
Yeah.
live action.
But also,
looked
he
like a
kind of
dork.
looks like a dweeb anyway, though.
That is true. That is true. I liked his actor. Like, vocally, it sounded really well. And I don't even think it's that the actor looks like a dork as live action Ezra. I think
No,
it's
I
just
just
the
think it's-
tiny hologram.
Also, it's the haircut, man.
Yeah,
Ezra needs a new
little bit.
haircut. Has needed a new haircut for a while.
Yeah. Bring back the old haircut.
Like the weird, Charlie Brown looking like triangle bangs, and like
Mhm.
short but also long at the same time. Like, I don't know. That's gotta go. That's gotta go.
It's gotta go.
Mhm.
Let's see. I literally just wrote down Sabine why as she drove away.
Drove away from what?
As she stole the star map.
Oh, yeah. Well, see, for me, I thought she was doing that because, like, she had the stuff at home to crack the code. That's kind
Gotcha.
of what I thought. But also, that doesn't really make much sense either, because, like, do you really think, like, Ahsoka and or Hera doesn't have the same or better equipment in their ship than you have at home? Yeah, I don't know.
Yeah. I don't know. It's one of those things where, like, I'm really torn because I get that if she's upset with her master, like, just wanting to get away so she could clear her head and, like, have some privacy to solve that. I get it. But at the same time, it's so important.
Yeah, like, what are you doing?
Yeah.
Yep. And then she gets home.
She gets home.
And she cracks it open. She figures it out.
She does. I like how she solves it. I thought that was very unique.
Yeah, I like how it, like, turns to, like, so that all the symbols match, and you
Mhm.
get that kind of weird Celtic-looking triangle thingy.
Yeah.
And then it lights up. And then I also just like how, like, just the aesthetics of the ball lights up, and it casts stars all over the room, and then it
Mhm.
becomes the center of the galaxy, and everything, like, shoots
Mhm.
back together and is all compact. I thought that was pretty sweet looking.
Yeah.
Yeah.
How did you? I have very mixed feelings about this whole other galaxy. I don't know if I like it. What do you think?
See, I kind of like it because it also gives me very heavy old school EU vibes.
Mm-hmm.
Like some very heavy, like, Yuuzhan Vong War kind of stuff, or
Yeah.
like, what are those guys, that they're the ones who come in from another galaxy, and they fight in the hyperspace war, and it's how the Republic is
Ooh.
formed, and they have those weird, like, hammerhead looking heads.
I will look that up.
But it gave me some old school EU vibes, and that made my inner child happy. And then
Yeah,
also, too, like, I mean, what if it's also not really another galaxy and more so, like, a portal to another plane, but still the same galaxy?
Another multiverse.
Yeah, maybe. I don't know.
Maybe. Yeah. I don't know.
But I kind of like the idea of another galaxy, just because it's spooky. Like, the unknown in Star Wars is always the spooky part.
Yes. So I'm looking up the hyperspace war. I'm not really finding anything
Yeah, I'm
on
kinda
who they
finding
are.
stars. Oh,
I know-
you got pictures of them?
No. Right now, all I can find is references to the Sith that fought in the war.
Maybe it's not the hyperspace war.
Well, you're looking that up. I'll talk about how I feel about it. I don't know. I'm like 90, maybe 80% excited, and like 10 to 20% kind of worried about the direction it's gonna go. Because and part of that's probably my own expectations. I was really hoping they'd explore the unknown regions of Star Wars or the Star Wars galaxy a little more. So again, that's my own expectations. But at the same time, just because Thrawn's somewhere else doesn't mean they still can't explore the unknown regions. And also, I think it makes more sense that they haven't been able to find them in 10 years, 12 years, maybe. It makes more sense that they just weren't in the galaxy.
Yeah. Thrawn and Ezra, you mean? Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. No, that would make a lot of sense.
So I have a lot of mixed feelings, but I have hope that whatever we're actually presented is going to be satisfying.
Yeah, I think so too.
Last thing I have is the final attack. Again, I really liked seeing the HK assassin droids. I know we're going to see probably a bunch of them throughout the series, but they just look so good.
Yeah.
I liked the scene where it grabbed Sabine from the back, and I think that was very smart on its end, but I also like how Sabine handled it, grabbing its gun, shooting it in the foot to escape.
Yeah.
It was very Mandalorian, and I loved it.
Yeah. Yeah, and I also liked how kind of silly and Magna Guard-ish they were.
Yeah.
That's kind of, I just thought that was kind of cool. Also, real quick before I forget, the aliens I'm talking about are the Rakata.
The Rakata, yeah.
Rakata, Rakata.
I know about those guys.
And they're actually pre-Republic, so they're pre-Hyperspace War.
Gotcha.
I don't know where I was getting that. But
and
anyway.
Were they from the Star Wars galaxy or from another one?
It doesn't say, but they were known as the Builders, so they pretty much built all of the early civilizations in the Star Wars galaxy. So
nice.
I mean, I think you can surmise they came from somewhere else.
Yeah. And something else I've got right here is that they were some of the earliest spacefaring races.
Mm-hmm. Yep.
So yeah.
And they invented hyperspace travel. Yeah.
What guys? What great guys? Except for all the evil things they did. What
yeah,
great guys?
Except for the slavery and the but
yeah.
whatever. And the and the genocide and
the corruption of the Force,
yeah, but
they chill.
We all make mistakes, right?
I'm sure they could, do backflips on their skateboard, so we're good.
Yeah, everything's fine. Everything's fine.
But no, I think really, I just really liked the fight between Sabine and Shin here.
Yeah,
I feel like it was choreographed very well in the sense of Shin's a Padawan, Sabine's out of practice. It wasn't super advanced combat, but it still looked good.
Yeah, no, I kind of agree with that. Whenever I was watching it, I was kind of man, this looks kind of clunky, but
yeah,
it's supposed to.
It felt very similar to the original trilogy combat, which George specifically in one of his interviews makes a distinction between the original trilogy and the prequels. The original trilogy is a bunch of old men and students that weren't fully practiced, while the prequels were fully trained Jedi and Sith.
Yeah, in their prime.
Yeah. So I think it did look clunky, but I think it fit for who they are as characters.
Yeah, I agree with that. And actually, I like the comparison to the old trilogy, especially the way that Shin fights and the way that Episode 6 Vader fights is very similar. It's a lot of really heavy side to side swings, almost like you're using a mace or a baseball bat.
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah, I don't know. It's cool, very cool. And then, oh wait, no, you go ahead.
No, you go. I was actually going to ask if you had anything else.
I would say the big thing.
The big thing.
The way that she steals the star map.
How
she stabs Sabine.
She stabs her. I'm so mad.
Dude, the way that it ended, I really thought Sabine was dead. And I still think she's dead. Until next time.
And yeah, maybe she is.
Yeah, exactly. You don't know.
But what I will say is that if hypothetically she does survive, Disney be adding too many people getting stabbed in the stomach by lightsabers.
Yeah, for real. Dude.
Or I guess more so torso. I don't know. I have very mixed feelings about it, but we can definitely talk about that next episode.
Yeah, I mean, like, yeah, never mind. Never mind. We'll get there.
I just
Sabina's
want
dead.
justice.
Sabina's dead.
Sabina's dead, just like Qui-Gon. And it makes sense that they both got stabbed in the side, and Reva, and the Grand Inquisitor, and someone else, Fennec Shand, they all got torso injuries, and they all died. All of them. Not a single one lived.
Especially Sabine.
Especially Qui-Gon.
They all died.
They all died. Anyway, sorry. I literally was venting. My poor girlfriend. I was venting about this for like 20 minutes after we got done watching.
But also knowing her, though, she probably just sat there and listened to you.
She did. She's
too sweet for you, man.
For sure. I definitely don't deserve her. But you know, I'm not going to tell her that.
Yeah, you tricked her once, trick her for the rest of her life.
Exactly. I think that's everything. That's all my notes. Did you have anything else?
No, other than I am very excited for this show, man. Like, honestly, I really, not that I didn't think I was gonna like it, but like I thought it was gonna be like good, but like not as good as like Mandalorian or Book of Boba Fett or the other live actions.
Yeah.
But it's shaping up to be.
For sure. And
it's got the potential.
I think the first episode was a little slow, but good slow. Like, I think it's setting everything up really well.
Yeah, just building the story.
Yeah. I'm just checking our email real quick. Nope, only thing I have in here is from our good friend, the Suited Bird, and it is the most cursed image of Jabba the Hutt from the Phantom Menace video game.
What a guy.
Thank you for submitting your photo.
Thank you, Suited Bird.
Yes, we will be sharing this on social media, because if we had to see this cursed image, so do you guys. Well, thank you guys so much for listening to this episode of Animal Squadron. We really do appreciate it. If you have any questions, feel free to email us at animalsquadron@gmail.com. Again, that is animalsquadron@gmail.com. We would love for you guys to be a part of this conversation. Also, if you're listening somewhere where you can leave us a review, we'd really appreciate that. It really helps. And if you're listening on Spotify, the question of the week will be what you thought of the first episode of Ahsoka. Anyway, thanks again for listening, and for the Animal Squadron, this has been Mother Goose.
And Lowtech Tuck.
Goodbye, everybody! See you next week!
Adios.